Hey everyone, in today's video we're going to touch on something else that a lot of you have been asking about, and that is what do I do for a living, and how did we get into Canada on doing that. So let's start off with that. What I do is I publish books on innovation around the world with my partner Sven. He's in South Africa at the moment, but on his way to the US. So we go into cities, regions, industries, and we go and put together books on innovation. So what that basically means is we go and we find all the innovative companies and the entrepreneurs, but it's not just the innovators, it's also the people that support the innovators. So funders and investors, tax, media and marketing, everybody that supports an innovation ecosystem in a city, because it's actually a very important thing is to have innovation ecosystems. It's to kind of breed those new ideas and breed those new companies in the different cities and places, you know. So Sven started the Innovate series and I joined him a couple of years ago, and we basically find places and with partners in local cities we publish these books. Now this is not pay to play book, so it's not the standard type of thing where you have to pay to be in the book. It's 100% free to go into the books, but what we do is we sell the books. And you know, it's kind of based on an honor system most of the time. Well, not most of the time it is. It's based on an honor system. So when we go into a ecosystem like Vancouver, this is Innovate Vancouver, the latest one that we are launching. I think it's arriving on Tuesday, the actual books. We go and we find innovators. Now those innovators can be big companies, it can be small companies, it could be youngsters, anybody that's doing anything innovative. It's not really just tech, you know. Oftentimes when people think innovation they think tech, but there's lots of innovation that's not tech, you know, whether it's textiles, whether it's farming. There's just so many things. And in Canada, for instance, there's a lot of green tech in Vancouver. In Quebec, there's a lot of artificial intelligence, which is a completely different thing. But yeah, so that's what we do. We go and find those people, we publish it, or everybody gets a nice double-page feature in the book, and we tell their story. Something else we do with the books that's really cool is we've got not artificial intelligence, augmented reality. So you'll see like this feature here, it's got like a little play button on it, and we've got a Global Village augmented reality app. If you scan that feature with our app, it plays a video on the page a la Harry Potter newspaper style, you know. So it actually looks really cool. So if you put the book down there and you've got the app, doesn't matter where you go, it looks like the video plays in the actual book, which is, you know, quite cool. Anyway, so that's what we do. We publish books, and we've published these books all around the world, in the US and the UK. We're doing Europe now, the first ones. We're working in Dubai, we're working in Africa. Innovate South Africa is on the go at the moment. We've got quite a few in Canada, and the US was the main lot of them. Anyway, yeah, so that's it. That's what we do with the books. How do we fund the books? How do we make money from the books? Well, most of them make money, some of them don't. Unfortunately, because we are not charging people to be in the books, we are reliant on book sales to make it up. And in most ecosystems, what you will find is that some of the bigger companies will purchase a bunch of books that they will hand out as gifts, and they will send it to potential clients and directors and things like that. And by doing that, they're also sponsoring the ecosystem. So in other words, they help their own ecosystem, and they help the smaller innovators that's being covered. You know, some of the smaller companies that's in the book, they don't have the funds to purchase books, you know, or, you know, maybe they're just starting, whatever. So they are getting books bought for them by some of the bigger companies. You can think of it as a yearbook for the innovation ecosystem in each city, which is quite cool. One of the questions we get asked is, why books? You know, we live in the modern digital age. And the reality is, yes, it's true. We live in a new age where books have become all but obsolete. But you know what? When you hold a beautiful book in your hands and you page through it and you look at all the beautiful imagery and you read the stories, That's just so much different than scrolling through something on a phone. It just, you just get this feeling of value. You get this gravitas. It's like, this means something. And, I guess the other answer that I always give people is that when you go online, I mean, these days, any 5-year-old with the internet connection can set up a website and promote whatever they want. I mean, there are trillions of websites on the web at the moment, trillions of pages. It's very, very easy to get lost there. Whereas these books these days are not that, they're kind of few and far between. So it's almost guaranteed that when somebody walks into a reception area and there's a beautiful book like this lying there, they will page through it, because it's not the norm, it's different, And then, of course, the other benefit of books that very few people think about is that in a book, when you're reading something, you actually have to page over, and it takes a little bit more time, and you kind of more committed to it. Whereas these days with our phones and with the internet, it's just a thumb flick away. So people have lost their concentration, because it's just so easy to move on. You click on something, and if it doesn't open instantaneously, you just go and you move on. You just move away from it. They did a study in, I think it was Australia. I need to go and look that up. That I read about, where they actually had kids in school learn from books. So they split the class in two. Half of them learned from their iPads and half of them learned from books. And afterwards, the half that learned from books actually did much better than the guys that just learned on the iPad. They had exactly the same material, exactly the same course material, everything. But the kids that learned from actual books did better than the kids that learned from their iPads and from digital platforms. And they believe the reason for that is that when you're in an actual book, there's no distractions. You hear, this is what you got to read. Yes, you can look around and there's things going outside, and maybe your cell phone can distract you. But when you're on a device, on a phone, and you actually page through something or you read through something, on that same device, there's just so many other distractions, whether it's TikTok or YouTube or whatever else that you can open, that kids seem to lose concentration a lot easier and a lot quicker when they're on devices. Anyway, so that's about books. This is our latest book, Innovate Vancouver. It's in the harbour at the moment. They're offloading it on Tuesday, and then we will be distributing it to all the people in Vancouver. Well, not all the people, everybody who bought books, obviously. The books are available on Amazon as well. And even during the pandemic, we still managed to get a few out. So, yay. Now for the next part. How did I get into Canada with publishing the books? Because we publish these books all around the world, we had to set up little companies in each different country, because we couldn't just invoice all from a central place. It's hard to do international payments, especially if you're dealing with startups and people that's just wanting to purchase things, and that is a little bit of a nightmare at the moment. But anyway, so in 2018 already, we set up a little company in Canada that was doing the publication of the Canadian books. We did Innovate Montreal, Innovate Ottawa, Innovate Vancouver started then already. It took a bit long to come out, obviously, during the pandemic. But we set up a little company in Canada to do the Innovate books. And when we finally made the decision to move to Canada last year, and I started looking in how to get a work permit or a PR to come live here, the thing that stood out the most is that we could use the publishing company. The only thing was that I needed to be the majority owner of the publishing company here if I wanted to come in on an owner-operator certificate or on an owner-operator work permit. So I basically bought out my partners in the Canadian company. We're still partners in the US and in Europe and in Dubai and all the other places, but I bought out my partners in the Canadian arm of the business, and then I was the 100% shareholder. So we decided we applied on that basis, as a book publisher, as an owner operator. Now obviously coming in as an owner operator on the work permit, I need to grow this Canadian arm, and that's what I'm set out to do. You know, I really want to grow this side. So we are launching, we're just finishing up, Innovate Vancouver is being delivered. We're going to print on a very nice book that we did with the government of Quebec called AI Quebec, which is, well, not the government, but through associated organizations, where we showcase all the artificial intelligence development in Quebec. And I've got to tell you, that is mind-blowing what the guys out there are doing. It's really amazing. So we've got that one coming out, and we are busy launching Innovate Toronto. We're busy launching Innovate Calgary. Those two books should start going very soon. And then we're working on a very special project. One of our other series is the Best of series, Best of Tampa Bay. Was our last one, Best of Tampa Bay and Best of St. Pete, which is a much bigger coffee table book. And this is basically more lifestyle orientated. So it's some of the best restaurants, the best experiences, the best things to do in the city, you know. And what better city to do that in than Vancouver? So we're teaming up with a local big print house, Fine Printers, that does amazing jobs. And we are launching the Best of Vancouver in the next couple of weeks. And that's going to be fun. And that's going to be fun for you guys too, because one of the things of the Best of is that I need to go to all these places and go and, you know, check them out to see if they're really the best. Isn't that going to be cool? Anyway, so excited about that project. But yeah, that's it. We're going to be launching Best of Vancouver. The whole idea is to grow the whole Canadian publishing business as much as we possibly can over the next couple of years, and then hopefully use that to apply for our permanent residency, or maybe we can go in through Belinda if she gets a job. But that's it. That's just one of our businesses, obviously. The other thing that you got to know is that I do a lot of different things. That is my main business, and that's what I'm here to do. But I also dabble, I'm an ideas man. I've always got a whole lot of different ideas. So, you know, sometimes it's a curse because, you know, all these ideas in my mind, and then sometimes I launch things, but I don't have enough time to do them, and it's this way and that way. But anyway, so what I'll do over the next couple of days, I will also tell you about some of my ideas or some of my other projects that we're working on. Maybe some of you can work with me on that, and we can have hopefully make a big success. All right, well, that's it. That's what I do for a living, and that's how we got into Canada on that. Cheers.